Welcome to the August 2017 Crockers Property Investment Index Sales and Rents Report conducted by Ipsos New Zealand. This month we can see that the latest figures for June 2017 indicate that 1,879 residential properties were sold in Auckland, and that is a noticeable decrease on May and also the lowest figure recorded for June since before 2014. So the cooling off of the Auckland property market is definitely occurring, and when we consider that there are actually more properties in Auckland overall, we can see that the percentage being sold would have decreased even further, as we can see there. Not so depressing though is the fact that the decrease in available properties for sale has helped the old sales and demand equation sort of keep the median sales price somewhat more healthier. So there's actually been a slight increase up to a median sales price of $845,000, up slightly from $835,000 in May. Certainly not decreasing to the same extent as the actual volume of sales. So with less properties on the market, it's helping keep the prices up a bit. Moving on to the actual rental side of things, as of course not all properties are being sold for the owner-occupiers. And we see here that for two-bedroom properties in Auckland, essentially no change in the charge rate at $482, and a bit more of a decrease actually found for properties around New Zealand as a whole, down to $380. So that's actually helped improve the premium charged for Auckland rental properties, improving it up to 27%. So two-bedroom properties in Auckland still maintaining their value and their premium there compared to other properties. Particularly we see here for three-bedroom properties a small increase in premium as well, from 38 to 40%, not quite so high in the two-bedroom area, but we've also seen a larger increase in average property rentals for the Auckland market, with three-bedroom properties now being rented on average at $630, up from $620 in May. No change really at the national level. So looking at where these property investors who we surveyed for July 17, and there were 60 of them in total, where they plan to put their rental expectations, and we see here that essentially no big change in those expecting to get better returns over the next 12 months. 17% expecting a better performance than they had in the past. A much more noticeable change was the number in those actually expecting their rental property investments to deteriorate over the next 12 months, down to 12%. So as you can imagine, the balance is those who are expecting no change over the next 12 months. Quite a sizable increase over the last few months, and we see now that at 71%. So essentially we're looking at around about 83% expecting no change or an improvement in their rental property investment performance. Moving on to think what these people are actually planning on doing as a result of these expectations over the next 12 months. And we see here that a small increase in those planning on increasing the size of their portfolios, a slightly larger increase in those planning to actually divest and reduce things, and a small decrease in those planning to make no changes. So essentially we still have that large gap between those planning on making some kind of changes and those planning on sitting tight, as we see here really 83% planning on doing nothing or perhaps slightly increasing things. The pessimists expecting worse returns and planning to divest definitely still remaining in the minority. So that means that when we look at the Auckland Rental Property Performance Index, we can see here that the investment index, while that has decreased slightly, the actual performance increase has gone up. And that's really just showing that overall, when you look at the pessimists versus the optimists, that there is more optimism in the market than negativity. So where would these rental property investments be made in the next 12 months if these investors were actually planning on increasing the size of their portfolio? 34 of them said yes, they probably would be increasing their portfolio and making new investments. Small sample sizes admittedly, but we're still seeing some consistency when you're looking here, and that is that those looking at generally other residential investments, houses in the suburbs so to speak, remain the most popular form of investment at 71% now, and those planning on central CBD apartments or apartments elsewhere still hanging around the 20% mark, and obviously ebbing and flowing according to what developments people will be seeing out there in the market as well. Only need to get a big greenfields opportunity and alternative residential areas become popular, or large apartment investments making apartment investments more popular. So a bit of fluctuation there as we normally see, and commercial still muddling along there in the teens, 15% for July 17. So if you have any questions about this research or anything else in relation to property investment or rental property management, by all means feel free to contact Crockers.